So you decided to buy a rental property in an area that gets hit with plenty of snowstorms? Welcome to our channel, Two Guys Take on Real Estate. My name's Kevin, I'm the Property Prince. Today I'm going to take you through a little bit about your expectations as a landlord to deal with snow removal after a snowstorm.
Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
Before we get started, I want to ask you to take a quick minute for me. Click on the subscribe button and notifications bell on our page so you can stay in touch with us and keep up with all the new content we're adding regularly. There's so much we cover on this channel about all aspects of real estate. We don't want you to miss out. So let's just jump right into it. What are your responsibilities as a landlord when it comes to snow removal? Well, to an extent, that's going to vary state by state. You need to research your local laws and you need to develop processes that comply with your local laws. Now, the important thing here is to communicate your responsibilities to the tenant. And that's probably something that is the most undervalued piece of this puzzle, setting expectations. Once the tenant knows, and this should be done at move-in and then reminded as you get into a snow removal season or right before a snowstorm is forecasted, and let the tenants know, remind them what you're going to do as part of your practices and what isn't something you're going to do as part of your practices. Let them know and set properly the best expectations they can have for how snow removal is supposed to happen. So to give you an example, in our area, the landlord of a multifamily house is responsible for clearing common area walkways, steps, and entrances and exits of a property, as well as sidewalks, city sidewalks on and around the property within 24 hours of the end of a snowstorm. So we tell our tenants precisely this. We'll take care of all those things. We'll do it within 24 hours of the end of a snowstorm. And to be very honest, we're usually doing it much faster than that, much quicker than that. But again, it's all about setting expectations. So if you're setting their expectations that you're going to simply comply with the laws on the books in your area that require it to be done within 24 hours, when you get it done within 2 hours, they're very, very pleased since you exceeded the expectations. That's tip number one for you. Tip number two is to make sure that they are aware and are identified their expectations and their requirements as being your tenant. They do share some responsibilities. A lot of people mistake this and think that the tenant's only responsibility is to simply pay rent and not have to do anything else, and that can't be further from the truth. Now, if they have a private entrance, think about it this way. If it's a multifamily home, maybe there's a direct walkway from the sidewalk and a door that serves only their apartment. Maybe it's a staircase going to the third floor around the property and up. That would be something that's in their realm of responsibility to maintain and keep clear and free of snow and ice. Now, doesn't mean you can't do it. It just simply means you should set the expectation that that responsibility is on them. It's great to do this in writing, but you should make sure that they know that they need to do this, because if they ever were to claim slip and fall, then you then have to argue about whose responsibility was what. This way, it's all put up front, and there's less likelihood that somebody's going to give you a hard time if there ever was an incident at the property. Now, when you say between 24 hours to resolve the issue and take care of the snow at the end of the snowstorm, it's important to mention to tenants that sometimes a storm, depending on where you live, may go on for many, many hours straight, and that they are certainly welcome and allowed to take it upon themselves to clear some of their own walkways and steps to make it safe for their household and their guests. Simply letting them know, however, that your service for what they're paying for rent, following your responsibilities, is that you'll come out within 24 hours of the end of the storm and take care of the removal of snow and ice. The other thing you should make sure is that tenants have a way to properly contact you when there's an issue with your service. Just like anything else a landlord will provide, if there's a roof on the house that's leaking, if there's a heating system that's malfunctioning, tenants should have a way to contact your landlord timely to resolve time-sensitive matters. This would be something I would agree is a time-sensitive matter. If at the end of 24 hours of the end of a storm, or maybe even getting close to that, and the tenant hasn't seen you or whoever you maybe have hired, a landscaping contractor, to take care of the snow removal, they should be advised of how to contact you, how to report this, and tell them that they're welcome to let you know, because you absolutely want to hit your responsibilities, handle all the things you need to handle for them. But if something goes wrong or something isn't serviced properly, that it needs to be brought to your attention so you can properly take care of it. So make sure they understand that it's not a hostile situation. They shouldn't feel like they're being ignored. Make sure that they understand that if something didn't happen at their property, it's because something went wrong and you need it brought to your attention so you can resolve it promptly for them. So set up either an emergency service number or some method that you should have already for your normal emergency maintenance reporting, and encourage them to use that. Those are the two best things I can tell you that will save you a lot of headache when it comes to snow removal. One, making sure tenants know how to report these issues to you, and two, report them if your responsibilities aren't met in the reasonable amount of time frame, and two, making sure you've understood what your responsibilities are per your local state guidelines, have a process for them, and then make sure that they're setting the right expectations with the tenant about how those things will get taken care of. If you have a landscaping service that is going to be servicing your properties and you're not out doing it yourself with a shovel or a snow blower yourself, then you need to make sure that another important thing is being taken care of. Require that landscaping service to document their work. Don't let them invoice you and just take it on their say-so that they did their job. Make sure that they're documenting the conditions of the property. A photograph with a cell phone is at least something they can do that's time-stamped. So this comes in very, very handy later. If there's ever a claim by the tenant that their property never got serviced, you can then turn around and review the situation, take their complaint, look into it. You'll see that you have a photograph, that their walkways were nicely shoveled or sanded, etc. And if there's ever a claim against you that they fell or they got hurt or somebody got injured due to your negligence and failure to do your job and follow your responsibilities, again, you have documentation that shows that that's not the case. People can still make a claim, but it makes these things that much more defensible for you if you feel that the claim is improper. So documenting your work just like you would for almost any other kind of service work, you want to make sure that if a tenant brought something to your attention, you repaired it and you documented your repair with a work order that's signed with photos of it, that type of thing. Same kind of thing applies here. You should make sure that anytime a snowstorm occurs and you have to dispatch somebody to resolve it, that work gets done and that it's properly documented. That'll avoid a lot of confusion later when people try to claim that they never saw anybody, that nobody ever took care of anything, or that they did their own snow removal and then want to be paid back for it. There's a lot of different ways this can go wrong. Setting expectations, following your local laws, and meeting the responsibilities of a landlord in your area are very important, and then documenting that you've taken care of the issue with photos, video, that type of a thing. I hope this information was helpful. If you found this to be informative and you found that this is something that you're going to want to learn more about, please, again, take a moment, subscribe to our videos here on YouTube, click the notifications bell, and leave a comment in the comment section about maybe some of your practices that you found have worked for you if you're already in real estate. We have a lot of people watching our videos that are really excited to learn from the experience of others, and that's why we're doing this. We want to share our experiences to help folks avoid some of the mistakes we've made so you can be that much more successful. Thank you and good luck.